What's up, everybody? Colton Posey here again, and I want to talk to you about shallow diving crankbaits. It's one of the most versatile crankbaits that they got. I mean, you can run it shallow, you bump it into really any type of cover. I mean, you're talking grass, stumps, wood, I mean, docks, whatever you want to use them for, and lipless crankbaits also. So we're going to go through a couple of shallow diving crankbaits and also the lipless crankbaits, and I'm going to show you my setup and the whole 9 yards, so maybe you can catch a lot more fish on the water when you're using these products. Alright guys, so now I'm talking about the square bills, exactly what I do with them, how I fish them, and the whole 9 yards. Another thing that I want to talk about is the lipless crankbaits. So you've got the square bills with the longer bill. These dive anywhere from 4 to 5 foot, somewhere around in there. Some of them go a little bit deeper, but you know, don't expect to get these down real far. And then you've got your shorter square bills, which of course dive shallower. And the thing about square bills is you can fish them so many ways, and one of the ways that I love to fish them is to burn them. Over the top of grass, as soon as it hits grass, just jerk that crankbait up out of that grass. A lot of times you'll trigger a strike doing that. Another thing is laydowns. I will just burn these things over the top of laydowns where they're reflecting off the cover. The fish will come up and just absolutely demolish the crankbait. Another way that I love to do is standing timber. You can throw it, and I'm trying to aim the tip of the bill, the very middle of that bill, to hit that tree. That way it rolls off to the side. And a lot of times when I do that and it hits it and it rolls off, I'll stop it for a second. That triggers a lot of strikes. But this is specifically one of my favorite ones. This is a product designed by Runkle. If you can't tell, it's got a really short square bill, and this thing does not dive deep at all. I wouldn't call it a wake bait. It'll probably get down to about 2 foot at the most. But when you have them bass that's real finicky, and you want to drop the size of your line, drop the size of your bait, the whole 9 yards, I will tie that bait on, and I will just burn that thing up against cover or anything I can hit. Rocks, it does not matter. And when I hit it, a lot of times, you know, like I was talking about, I'll stop and those fish will just go nuts over it. So check out their line of products. Also is the rattle traps, or lipless crankbaits, whatever you call them yourself. But these things, you can fish them on close to the top of the water, you can fish them mid-depth, or you can fish them dead on the bottom, however you want to. And I fish it just like I do my square bills. I'm trying to bang that thing up against everything. If you can't tell, I mean, this one's been used many times. I just beat them to death the best I can, and that just triggers them strikes. Now, if you're going through real heavy cover, maybe stumps and stuff like that, what I like to do is to take that back treble hook off, and when you take that off, you're not going to miss as many fish as you think you would. Sometimes you do miss a fish, I'm going to be completely honest with you, but it helps that lipless crankbait go through the water so much easier when you're running through real heavy cover. So give that a shot. Now guys, I'm going to talk to you about my setup, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so now I'm going to talk about my setup for what I use on my square bills and lipless crankbaits. Again, the reel, I want something that can hold a lot of line for extra long cast. A lot of times with square bills and lipless crankbaits, I like to run 15-pound fluorocarbon, and the reason that I do that is because I'm beating the crankbaits off of anything that I can. So that way I get, you know, a lot better abrasion resistance. Don't really have to worry about line breaks that much. But you know, tying is the key. I want to constantly check my knot and my line, make sure there's no big nicks or nothing like that, and if there is, I want to retie. So the loose speed spool laser, this is the Jason Christie version. I absolutely love this reel. This one right here is a 6/8 to 1 gear ratio, so again, I can slow it down as I need to, or I can speed it up as I want to. So and once again, the rod is the absolute most important part of these crankbaits. I want something that it's got that power that if I'm running it in cover and the fish comes out to bite that lure, I can set the hook and hurry up and get that fish away from the cover where they can't get back down in there. So what I like is the 7'1" Impulse. This is a Lance's Fight. This rod was specifically designed for Lance to help him with leukemia. And this is a graphite composite rod, but if you can tell, it does have a good bit of tip or bend in the tip, so it's not super flimsy like the crankbait rod as far as the tip, but this rod is flimsy enough to where I can run it the way I want to. I can feel everything that I'm hitting. It's stiff enough when I set that hook I can pull them fish away from the cover. So guys, that's my setup. That's the shallow water crankbaits. I hope that kit helps you catch a lot more fish. So guys, we appreciate it.